When things weren't working, media's turning on them, everyone thinking this Clippers experiment's a failure. There was a guy that raised his hand and said, I'll be the odd man out and go to the bench. That was Russell Westbrook. When that happened, the rest of this team, it still took a few games, but they adjusted and took off.
And we are back.
Y'all already know that's right. Back again for another episode of the Hoop Plug.
Yes, sir. And as always, rocking with you, it's your main man Faraz in the building. And I got with me my brother, my partner in crime, co-CEO, Stir Fry Tyler. How you feeling today, my brother?
I'm feeling good, bro. How about you, my brother, my dog, my co-host, Faraz?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good, man. We, as you guys can see, this ain't our first rodeo. We done licked that statement off so many times, you know what I mean? But I'm doing well, man. You already know whenever we're able to get on wax, it's a good time for me, man. And without further ado, let's get into another episode of the Hoop Plug. We got Clippers being title favorites, Joel Embiid out, no more second MVP, and Revenge of the Nerds. All this and more on the next episode of the Hoop Plug.
All right, y'all. I've seen enough. The Clippers should be title favorites. They've won 25 of their last 30. The squad is just red hot. They got firepower and energy off the bench. Amir Coffey, Russell Westbrook, Norm Powell, who's an absolute bucket. They're big. They could throw rangy wing after rangy wing at you. And they're finally closing games. Lee leading 29-1 when entering the fourth quarter with the lead, bro. This might be the year the Clippers break that curse.
Speaking facts, man, and let's be real here. When the team first got together, when they brought over James Harden, we had Russell Westbrook there already, Paul George and Kawhi. We said, how is this going to work? You got potentially 4 All-Stars. Depending on what the year is, 4 All-NBA guys. Started off with a bit of a rough patch, and they've finally been able to make it work. Big kudos, big shouts out to the Clippers. But those 4 guys I mentioned, it doesn't happen without them. Ty, who do you want to start off by giving the flowers to in this, in what do you call it, quintuplet? Quint is 5, quadruplet?
Yeah, I don't know if Russ is part of that big 4, if you will. The big 3 is as far as we've seen it in the league, and I think that's for a reason. We got Russ barely closing games. He got demoted to that bench lineup. But really, this was a ship that was supposed to take off about 4 years ago. They got the front court guys, Kawhi, Paul George, welcome to LA. But things were disjointed. They needed a dynamic passer, a playmaker to run the show, and it took a while for them to get that. But James Harden arrived, and he is now that guy. A facilitator first, a guy that when he's in the ball is just moving fluidly, pinging from corner to corner. He came in not trying to score 30 a night, but with the intent to open things up and organize for the other guys. And we saw him work with Big Zoo after practices. We saw him trying to get up to speed with this roster as quick as possible. He wanted this to work. Really, they all did. And that's, I think, the big reason why they look as good as they do right now.
I mean, you said it right. James Harden gets a lot of credit. But, I mean, if we talk about this being overdue, there's no question. I mean, some of you guys may know it's on your favorite family-friendly basketball podcast. The Hoop Plug did a special, Don't Sleep on the Clippers. You know, I wanted to say not so long ago, but at this point, it's been some years. It's been some days. Yeah. So say all that to say well-deserved. They're finally getting into a groove. I know I'm about to sound crazy here, calling James Harden one of the most underrated players in NBA history, but I think so. I mean, you go from averaging 36 a season to the next 3 seasons or whatever it is, you're averaging a 20-point double-double with assists. It shows the skill, shows the basketball IQ. Another Clipper that I think couldn't happen without, Paul George, man. I mean, Paul George is one of those guys that he's a living legend, but he's always getting in the way of his own self, right? I mean, between the playoff P escapades a couple years ago, and I mean, even the crazy injury at a Team USA camp a few years back, right? But Paul George is active, man, and he's looking like everybody's favorite hooper again.
Yeah, man, it's the play style, it's the smoothness with which he carries himself, whether it's that in and out cross, the step backs, the middies. It's a beautiful game to watch. And you were dueling out credit and health, rightfully so, because you can't do it without it in this league. But when things weren't working, media's turning on them, everyone thinking this Clippers experiment's a failure. There was a guy that raised his hand and said, I'll be the odd man out and go to the bench. That was Russell Westbrook. When that happened, the rest of this team, it still took a few games, but they adjusted and took off. Kawhi, now a more efficient version of his former self. putting up crazy splits in the starting lineup next to James Harden. 55 from the field, 50% from three, and 90 from the line for over a month and a half now. He looks as healthy as he's ever been in the league, on pace to play over 60 games for the first time since 2016. Dog, this is crazy. Health
Man,
is and has always been the Achilles heel of these Clippers, bro. Not going back forever. They've been trash for a long time. But this Paul George Kawhi version has been in play.
Yeah, there's no question about it, man. And I think, you shouted out the right guy. Russell Westbrook, man. You love to hate him, you hate to love him. But guess what? At the end of the day, you got to respect the impact and the leadership that he's shown throughout his career. I mean, this is a guy who's guaranteed Hall of Fame career. No question about it. He says, you know what? I'm gonna take a back seat. They did me dirty in the other franchise in Los Angeles. It's all right. I'm gonna take the back seat, but y'all about to see. And see we did. Russell Westbrook, a key factor that willing to put his ego aside, coming off the bench, and still finding a way to make headlines. Russell Westbrook, the 25th member of the 25K club, recently entered 25,000 point club for his career. He joins LeBron James as the only other player in NBA history to have 25,000 points, 9,000 assists, 8,000 rebounds for a career. He might not get too much more than that, but shouts out to Russell, man. That's a legendary career when you're in the name of the likes of LeBron.
Yeah. 25 is nothing to sniff your nose at, bro. It's impressive. Shouts out. Congrats, Russell Westbrook. But, bro, back to Kawhi. Oh. He's the reason. As good as Wes has been sacrificing his ego, as good as James has been dishing the rock, as good as Paul George has been playing both ends, Kawhi is the undoubted, the finals MVP, the multiple-time All-Star. He's the dude. And now that he's playing back-to-backs again, are you kidding me? His minutes per games are up. He's top 10 in defensive win shares again. He's that guy that was rivaling LeBron again. That's a huge deal for these Clippers.
Facts, bro. Facts. And at the end of the day, Kawhi's only problem is he hasn't been available. We know what he does. When he's on the floor, he's consistent. He brings a level of calmness, a level of confidence, a level of AI, really, that the Clippers rely on every time he's on the floor. I hope you guys caught that joke because Kawhi is a robot. I saw that to say, man, I'm glad that you gave him his flowers. It could not happen without him. There's other key factors, right? Other guys in the rotation, they have what every NBA franchise wants to have. A lineup from 1 through 10, long, athletic, springy forwards and guards and guys who are able to play on both ends of the floor, shoot, they've got it. And if teams don't watch out, the Clippers can make a serious run with this momentum that they're gaining.
That's facts. And I'm going to tell you exactly what's about to happen. Clippers are going to keep this up. Health permitting. Clippers are going to keep this up.
Hey, Ty, I don't want to cut
We're
you
going to find it.
But y'all know the last time Ty made a prediction, right? Ty went 100 for 100 on the Eastern All-Star Reserves. We don't got to talk about the West. But on the Eastern All-Star Reserves. All right, brother. I just have to let him know what type of credibility you're coming with. So
appreciate that, dog. Appreciate that. Look, the Clippers, if they stay healthy, they're going to keep this up. We're going to find ourselves late March, top 2 record in the West. All of a sudden, you're going to be hearing this chirping. Can Kawhi win his first MVP? This actually might happen. Okay, Joel Embiid just went down. Going to talk about that in a second. Jokic, he's on cruise control. He's still great, but he's on cruise control. Giannis is struggling. They just got a new coach, which is a little bit of a ding. Okay, you can't be pushing coaches out and winning MVPs at the same time. Just saying, y'all heard it here first.
Hey, man, Ty's calling it out. And listen, you'd be foolhardily not to at least pay attention to what the man's got to say. Speaking of paying attention to what the man's got to say, he touched on Joel Embiid, man. You want to talk about unfortunate. One of the most unfortunate situations in the NBA this week. Joel Embiid is out 4 weeks sidelined with knee surgery. Joel Embiid is no longer eligible for the opportunity to become a back-to-back MVP. Tyler, what's your thoughts on that?
For one, it sucks to see. Two, can any of us be surprised? I mean, this guy missed his first 2 seasons before he even stepped in the court. He was hurt. All right. It sucks. It really sucks. For Sixers fans, it sucks. Especially, man, they can't catch a break. Ben Simmons supposed to be the guy. He gets shipped off. It's a catch-22. They did all that tanking, and it almost worked. They're able to find that one-of-a-kind talent, that generational big man. But he has an Achilles heel, and this is his Achilles heel.
Tyler, I got to ask you one question and one question only. Are you trusting the process?
No, not at all.
The process, unfortunately, was trustworthy. However, the trust has been broken. I mean, between Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz, I mean, the array of first-round draft picks that you had, moves that you made, moves that you didn't need to make, i.e. Jimmy Butler's. Man, the only reason I'm frustrated with it, because the scoring output that Joel Embiid has put forth this season is matched by none. He's actually on pace to score more points in a game per minute than Wilt Chamberlain ever did. So Wilt Chamberlain was able to average those gaudy numbers. If you break it down on per 36 minutes, Joel Embiid is actually scoring more points than Wilt Chamberlain did in those days. I mean, guys, we got to wake up and recognize what we were witnessing, right? But I think that's what makes it that much more of a shame. I don't think there was a question that if the Sixers finished in the top 4 in the East, which they were almost guaranteed to do, that Joel Embiid was going to win his second MVP. I mean, what this guy's been able to do in 34 minutes a night, I mean, 70 points in 34, 36 minutes, unheard of. He's shown that he's him, but whether it be injury, whether it be the process, whether it be Ben Simmons, like you said, the Sixers really cannot catch a break.
Yeah, and I'm going to, at the risk of sounding like a hater, be honest with y'all. Honestly, I didn't enjoy at all watching Joel Embiid play basketball this year. And this is probably the worst time to say it because he just went down. But
Yo, Ty, you a hater,
the flopping, the way he just flails to get to the free throw line, it was not fun. It was like the NBA 3 years ago watching Trae Young kick his legs out on every three-point attempt. Like it was that annoying pump fake and get fouled 16 times when the defender jumps. It's part of the game. It's well within the rules. But if you're asking me if I liked it, the answer is clearly no.
Well, fair point. But I got to ask you, though, did he get buckets, though?
Yeah. Did James Harden get buckets when he was scoring 40 for a straight month? We hated that, too.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, the foul part of it. I mean, James Harden was just nice with it, though, in those days.
We're seeing the 7-2 version of it, bro.
Yeah. The free throw line aspect of it. I mean, the day I see Joel Embiid take a center to the 3-point line between the legs, step back like James Harden, I'm sorry, he's him. But no, I'm just kidding. But no, the foul aspect, there's no question. And I mean, I would argue, right? You see it in that James Harden season. You see it in this Joel Embiid season. Is that what you need to do in this day and age to be able to put those types of numbers? Is that something else we're stumbling upon?
I don't know, bro. It's the analytically correct way to play basketball. Threes, dunks, and free throws. That's what the nerds in every front office tell the players to do. But he's shooting 12 free throws a game this year, bro. It's a little much.
For all my fans in the city of brotherly love, Ty is officially a hater. Nah, man, I'm playing. But no, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Is it the beautiful basketball we were seeing with the Warriors when they were going through their runs? Definitely not. It's drop it down to the post and let Joel Embiid, basically flail, right? Got to give the credit where the credit is due, but I definitely see your point, bro. Talking about nerds, hey. Ty, I think you got a topic about that.
Yeah, bro, they're getting their revenge down in Dartmouth because I don't know if y'all see this headlines, but the court has ruled that the Dartmouth men's basketball team players who are currently in attempts to unionize, yes, college team trying to unionize, the court has ruled them employees of Dartmouth. So this has a lot of ramifications, right? I don't know all of them because I'm not a lawyer, but what I do know is you got to be careful what you wish for. Dartmouth basketball. You are not exactly the cash cow of your university, okay? Y'all ain't Kentucky. Y'all not Ole Miss. Y'all not Villanova. You guys, do you know employees can get fired too? Y'all might be getting yourselves out of job. You
Out
just
of
got
college education. Yeah, all of that. Bro, you know it's a problem when your school is more known for its academics than its basketball. So like in this situation, I don't know. But like you said, there's a lot of interesting points to pull away. First one, namely being, how does this affect everybody else?
yeah.
You know? And if it affects everybody else, have we basically seen the destruction of the college system?
The top end talent's always gonna be straight. You know what I'm saying? When Chet Holmgren is putting up 25 and not, the NIL deal money's still gonna be there. It's the middle level and the lower tier guys that get screwed. That's why as a Dartmouth, you might be putting your foot in your own mouth here. I don't know. I'm all for kids getting their money, but
Seems counterproductive, bro.
yeah.
Because at the end of the day, right, if I'm Dartmouth, you know what I'm going to say? Fine. I'm going to pay you the ball. But guess what? I ain't giving you a scholarship. You
Yeah.
have to find a way to attend this school. Yeah, you got it. You want a job? I got you. I'll tell you what. I'll pay you as much as your tuition cost.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
that's the scary part. What happens when what they have to pay, right? If employees have to make retirement, they have to get retirement accounts. Like employees have to get other type of medical benefits. There's limits on how much they can work in a week. You know what I mean? So what happens if that cost is more than what Dartmouth basketball starts bringing in? Because I know they ain't selling out.
That's facts.
Why do we even bring these players here if they're just costing us money? That's where it looks like it's headed. And not for Kentucky's, again, not for Villanova, but for the small schools.
Which brings me back to the question I had posed earlier, right? Does this mean the destruction of the NCAA and that system? Because at this point, it seems like to me this is leading to an almost extension of a professional league, right? Because we talk about the talent. If we look at the NCAA as a whole and we call it a league, right? It's Division One basketball league. I would say that league could compete with any of the top leagues in the world. I mean, not the NBA, maybe not the top Euro League, but basically everybody else. I think that the NCAA would be its own top league. So does that mean what does that mean for college basketball going forward? It almost now becomes this, like you said, a catch-22. God damn it. The nerds of Dartmouth have really messed it up for everybody.
Yeah. Way to take something fun and ruin it for the rest of us.
That's going to do it for another episode of the Hoop Plug. Before we get up out of here, we got to tell you guys about the greatest place when it comes to men's skincare, hair care, grooming, all of that. As you guys can see, they keep the baldies shiny. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They keep the beards here at the Hoop Plug nice. Ty, why don't you let them know what they got to do when they get over to EvanAlexanderGrooming.com?
Just plug in that promo code hoop_plug_ for smooth 20% off at checkout. That's hoop_plug_ at checkout. Till next time, for us, let them know where we put that flavor.
Put some flavor in your ear. Peace.
Peace.